All right, hello everybody, and welcome to, this is a playtest. I'm super excited for the game Project Perseus. Project Perseus right now is in open playtest under Evil Hat by Strass and John. I was going to try to say their last names, but then I got super intimidated. I couldn't pronounce asymmetrical earlier, so I apologize, Strass and John. That I couldn't say your last names, but they're also known as Off Guard Games, which I can say. So Off Guard Games has made Scum and Villainy, Banded Blades, and so this is Project Perseus, which is very interesting. This is a game that's meant to be easier to pick up and play. You only need to play for a session or two. It's great for like in between game campaigns and stuff. So I'm super excited to get into it with everybody. But before I talk about the game some more, let's introduce ourselves. So my name is Jamie. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm very lucky to be the game facilitator for this session. And yeah, I'd love to, we'll go in the same order as last time. So let's start with Jolene. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Jolene. I use she, her, they, them pronouns. I really like spy stories, like and movies and TV shows. So excited for this game. Uh, if you want to follow me on Twitter at Jolene double O negative, same as Twitch. Uh,
Awesome. Yeah, and then Leandro.
Hi, yeah, my name's Leandro. I use he, him pronouns. Been playing with a gauntlet for nearly 3 years. 3 years this July. I guess if you want to follow me on Twitter, where all I do is just retweet things, it's at lpondoc, which is not as it's pronounced. It's spelled LPONDOC. I've made this joke too many times. If you want to pronounce it, it's technically pronounced Pondoc. But that's not great. So yeah, looking forward to this. I'm excited for spies. I'm excited for asymmetrical play. It's gonna be interesting. I'm a big fan of Strash and John's games. Uh, really excited.
Yeah, I know Leandro, you ran Band of Blades, right? I remember everybody in the gauntlet loved it.
Yeah, we made it to the end. We made it to Sky Dagger Keep. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, we lost
Oh,
quite badly. It was fine. It's
awesome.
fine. What matters was the journey.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Very cool. And yeah, Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. He, him pronouns. And yeah, same to everything's been saying. Love spies, love games, love combining the two, and I love Strauss and John's work. So that's good.
Awesome. And last but not least, Joe.
Hi, Joel. He, him pronouns. Yeah, pretty much same everyone else has been saying. I like spy games. I like supernatural games. So like a combination of the two is just perfect. I'm actually newer to Forged in the Dark games. I think my first one was with Jamie, Brinkwood Blood of Parents, and that was a ton of fun. So I'm expecting this to be a ton of fun too.
Oh my gosh, I can hear the cat purring. It's coming through. She's so cute. But yeah, awesome. All right, and so let me get into the game. I thought what we could do is I'll read the first section, and then I might ask people for help in reading the rest, just so that we're on the same page of what to expect from the game. Let me just get to the share screen. Okay, so I'm showing this is from the playtest PDF. So introduction. In 1944, at the end of World War II, a terrible truth was uncovered. The fascination of the Axis powers had with the occult was not just idle folly held by those in power. Indeed, their stride toward world domination was backed from the shadows by the supernatural. The Axis powers were not merely a morally corrupt group focused on gathering power, they also sold out the human race in the false hope that they would be rewarded by their ascendants in human masters. Totally a great idea. Absolutely. So when the UN Security Council was founded in 1946, it chartered famous peacekeeping forces. In a secret meeting on the same day, An agency was created under the UN jurisdiction to patrol the shadows for unseen threats and battle with forces humanity was neither prepared for nor privy to. Project Perseus is a multinational unit composed of an elite, I always trip over. Anyway, elite folks, of agents and their handlers, named operators for their initial ties to the telephone system. They are specially trained and uniquely equipped to deal with the supernatural. So could I ask, and also if I ask you to read something and you're not in the mood to, just tell me pass, totally fine, right? But we'll go in the same order, I think. Jolene, would you be cool with reading the what is this section?
Sure. Project Perseus is a game about super spies and their handlers fighting in the shadows against supernatural conspiracies and rival agencies during the late 80s and early 90s. We play to find out if the agents can outwit, outrun, or outfight their opponents while finding a balance of trust with their operators, which may not be easy, as some agents may not have the same objectives and agendas on the mission. This is a game inspired by super spy movies like James Bond or Atomic Blonde, classic government agency shows like Alias, Ghost in the Shell, or Witch Hunter Robin, and urban fantasy novels.
Awesome, awesome. And just as a note for this particular game, I decided to set it in 1989 just so we could get the maximum 80s music. That was my main goal. But also it was a tumultuous year. There was like a lot going on. It's the same year as Atomic Blonde, right? It's when the year that the Berlin Wall came down and everything. So there was a lot of tension in the air, right, in 1989. So okay, and then next, could I ask Leandro to read this is a playtest section.
Cool. So this is a playtest of the final Perseus game. It's got everything you need to play. The rules, the moves, the playbooks. But it's not a full game book. It's missing things like lengthy discussions on moves and long examples. Well, I have to make the assumption that you already have some experience with Powered by the Apocalypse games. If you don't, check out Apocalypse World, Monster Hearts, or Masks. They're all good. More robust examples of play and advice.
Right, so I'm using this as a disclaimer, like in case we like mess up something, or we will do our best. But yeah, we'll definitely give the game the benefit of the doubt, like if there's something I misunderstood in the rules and such. So like there's some terms I'm not 100% sure about, but we'll get to that in a bit when it comes up. All right, and then next, could I ask Josh to read out, what do the players do?
Yeah, of course. The agent players create conflicted spies touched by the supernatural. They should portray their characters as exciting, conflicted individuals who risk safety and the mission for skeletons in their closets. The operator player creates a person who is dedicated to the mission first, but strives to help their agent as best they can against difficult odds, sometimes at personal cost.
Awesome. And then Joel, if you could read, what do the characters do?
Yeah, the agents and operators attempt to complete their assigned missions as a team, though the agents will likely choose to settle vendettas, old scores, and personal problems that haunt them while they're on the job.
Very cool. And then, so, conveniently, I get to say, what does the GM do? I did not think that far ahead. Anyway, so what does the GM do? The game moderator establishes a larger than life shadowy world of the 80s and 90s where nefarious world-ending plots by the supernatural are unknown to the normal populace, but omnipresent in the lives of the Perseus agents and operators. So the GM portrays supernatural forces as dangerous and mustache-twirling evil while breathing life into the people and connections surrounding them. Fair warning, because I am me, the evil people, at least half of them will be horribly flirtatious. In case anyone is not cool with that, please. Totally fine. But yeah, okay. So I think, yeah, that's basically it for the introduction of the game. So I think the next point is we will take a look at the character overview. So I put it together like in one page in the character keeper. You can see a whole section of the background, but I really want to stress, please feel free to change the names. You'll notice that I removed the pronouns entirely, right? If you want to play Jack with they, them, she, her pronouns, change the name to something else, totally fine. The only thing that's most important is to keep the general like idea of the character. But if you want to tweak certain things about who they are and stuff, as long as you have the essence of the character, that's totally fine with me. Yeah, so, but I'll go ahead and take turns. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agents to choose from. And then we have 1, 2, 3 operators to choose from. I also put in the agent summaries from the operator's point of view. On each of the agents, it says things like, for Samir, ex-thief, incredibly skilled, but a thrill seeker, also has a penchant for pocketing things he shouldn't. Be careful, he'll go off missions for something shiny. So like each agent has like a little warning or description for the operators, which is a cute touch, I thought. So let me just do a super quick overview of each one, but then we'll get into each agent and operator. So Jack is the James Bond-esque one. They don't have access to supernatural powers, but they are so incredibly tough. Like if you choose the options, they have more, they can take more punishment and they can heal from it faster. And then we have Adriana Ferreira. I really can't pronounce this morning. Adriana, codename Crimson. So they are a vampire basically. So that's super cool. For every ability you have, you pick up a curse, which is interesting. And then the other agents are Mia. Mia's the gun witch. So Schwartz, I guess. But yeah, so Mia is a witch, but not a full witch. She hasn't done, or I'm sorry, they haven't done any of the sacrifices or truly evil, witchy stuff that the others have done that you fight against. And then Irina Winter is a demigod. So their father is an actual full-blown deity from Russia. And so what's interesting about Irina is that it's assumed that they're going to take over Perseus, or at least like take on a position of power at some point. And then for our final agent, Samir is a straight up like thief who got involved in Project Perseus because they stole the wrong thing. And now they have nothing left to lose because everything was taken from them. And then in terms of our operators, we have Thomas Blaze, codename, why are these easier to pronounce? Anyway, Thomas Blaze, codename Excalibur. Used to be a knight of Saint Demas. Basically, from what I could tell from this playbook, it's a lot of cool artifacts that they can introduce. And so very much a magically inclined operator in comparison. Then we have Philip Reynard, codename Scorpio. Ooh, I missed. Sorry, I just get obsessive. So Philip A? I said it was easier to pronounce and then I caught myself. So they support the agents. This is the most quotation mark modern playbook. So they do the hacking computers, but keeping in mind, this is the 80s and 90s. I'll briefly describe the technology level. It's in the book, actually in the PDF. So I'll use that. But if you want a more modern feel, then we'll bring Philip. And then last is Cassandra West, the alchemist. And Cassandra is like full on gadget person. And so it's kind of like, just my impression of it. It's like Excalibur, except more mundane in terms of the stuff that they offer you. So this is more like the James Bond-esque. What's their name? Is it Q? The one who like, right? Does all the item stuff. That's my impression of Cassandra West. So gadgets, sweet rides, invention, so on and so forth. Okay, so with that, yeah, I think even from just this, I know that before we came on, Jolene expressed interest in like the Silver Lion. So is anyone else interested in this character? Because if not, I'd be happy to. Yeah. So I think Jolene, you can just go ahead and score that one. Once again, please feel free to change names, pick pronouns, whatever you like. You can go over the description here. If you want to tweak and edit it, please feel free. Is there any other playbook that is calling out to anybody? I'll ask, we'll just go in order. I'll ask Leandro, is there something calling out to you?
If no one else is interested, I want to take on an operator.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which one? Did anyone want to be an operator? Yeah, I see like, "Meh." Okay, so which operator were you looking at? That's exactly what it is. Meh. That's a perfect description. So, so Leandro,
That's
which
the sound
one?
of non-committal. Yeah.
Yeah, every time in my head, that's what it sounds like. Which operator were you thinking of playing with?
Probably Cassandra West.
Yeah.
And so let's go gadget this nonsense.
Yeah, and please feel free to. So we have another tab with. Ooh, nice. Here we have a picture. With you can like go down to the abilities just to be sure you start off with one. The abilities are fairly straightforward, but yeah, Cassandra's like super awesome, very cool. And then, all right, and so next, Josh, was there an agent that you were like super keen on?
I will. I'll take Arena if no one else is particularly invested in them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Arena is very interesting because they start off, they're more of like a social type, but they're also like a demigod. So like they have at least one trick up their sleeve. So that's very interesting. Joel, which leaves, so Joel, you get to choose. I noted that you said you appreciate when there are few choices to be made. So between Adriana, Mia, and Samir, which one is calling out to you?
I think I will try. Which this is why I appreciate everyone choosing characters, because I'm still like trying to decide even with three. I think I will try Mia Schwartz.
Ooh, our gun witch.
The gun witch.
Yeah, so awesome. Yeah, I was watching Witch Hunter Robin, the anime in preparation. I forgot how slow 90s anime is, by the way. But anyway, but gun witches are very cool concept. Okay, so with that, I think, so let me briefly go over, yeah, okay, so now that we have your characters, I'm going to hide the ones that we're not using so we have less to look at. Though of course, you know, oh no, but I think that's much later when you can choose to get something from someone else. So I'll go ahead and hide it. So hiding. Da, da, da. Da, da. There we go. Very cool. Okay, so with that, so the first thing is your motivation. So this is like why you became an agent for Project Perseus, which will directly align with one of your drives. So as you can see, for example, Jessica, I don't know if, you know, we're going to stick with this, but I'll just read it out loud as an example. So the highest adrenaline spike you've ever had was facing enhanced opponents. You're an adrenaline junkie, which means so one of her drives is adrenaline junkie. You do it for the thrill. Mark this drive when you take unnecessary risks. So when we say mark this drive, I decided to just translate it here because it'll create 1 XP for you, right? And then for every time you hit, there are 2 ways you can earn XP, which is by hitting any one of your drives. You can, if you hit both drives during the mission, then you mark XP twice. The second way that you can earn XP is dealing with an entanglement, right? So let me go ahead and share. I didn't include it in the character keeper because, you know, real estate space for character keepers are such a thing. So for example, our gun witch, mission entanglements, what I'll do on my end is I will roll before the mission to see which one of these will come up for Mia during the mission itself. So for example, it could be, dear old dad, your father, yes, he's a warlock, is here. Avoid, neutralize, or bring him in. Or it could be another agent, time to prove Perseus is the best, meaning another agent from another like faction, right? Procure extra intel objectives, outperform other units, or use others to benefit Perseus, right? So as long as you, usually it's like another person, a nemesis, evening the score. As long as you deal with them in some way, you're going to get, I think it's 2 XP. I'm going to double check, but you're going to get XP, right? And then so what do you do with the actual XP? At the end of the session, at the end of the mission, you can spend it to grab security clearance. So you start at security clearance level 1, and then to get to security level 2, you have to spend 4 XP. And then you'll gain another special ability. You'll also gain another item. And then, so this is roughly the same for everybody. And then at clearance level 3, you gain 1 action, meaning another dot right here. But yeah, and that costs 4 XP to get, next one is 6 XP, so on and so forth, right? So theoretically, you could get to clearance level 2 by the next session, depending on how things go today. We'll see. But for operators, it's slightly different. So operator, so Cassandra does not earn XP in the same way. Instead, you have to succeed at the mission. So you talk to the bigwigs during the mission debrief. You have your own move associated with that. I was gonna say trauma, it's not trauma, with that challenge. So I will fix this. But yeah, after each mission, you'll debrief, and then you roll 1 dice per yes for these questions. So just something to keep in mind in order to, and the thing is, you still have to roll like a 6 to gain a security level. Right, so it's pretty hard. It's a little harder for the operator to like gain security clearance, gain security levels, which is interesting. We'll see how that goes. Okay, and is there, aside from that, you do have, let's see, so I put in little notes over each of the actions so you know what they are. And also there's a note of, oh, here we go. Like Julian is really like at it, like hitting the ground running. So basically, it tells you what you start with and then how many more you pick. So yeah, everybody picks 2 more. So for example, Mia, you start with 2 in supernatural, 1 in violence, and then you get to put 2 dots anywhere you like. And then for our operator, it's a similar thing. Yeah, I think you already picked yours out, right? So I didn't color code this. Ooh, it's so painful to look at. Let me just quickly feel it in my bones. Okay. All right, so Cassandra starts with 2 armory 1 systems, and then you pick 1 more. So yeah, so you have different, because you have resources rather than actions. And then I will note at the start of each mission, after I give you what the mission is, I'm going to give you a dossier, Cassandra. You get to mark 1 resource per agent you're responsible for. So because you have 3 agents, that means you get to add 3 dots anywhere here. But these are like temporary, they'll reset. But anyway, you don't have to worry about which is which because I put here. We'll probably mark them a different color just to remember which one you added, but yeah. Okay, and then you choose 1 ability, right? And I think that's it for character generation. Yeah. Do we have any questions at the moment? Okay, if there are any questions at any time. So I'll give everyone a few minutes to go ahead and choose your special abilities, move around their dots. I'm going to pause the recording here so that we can relax and just, take our time. So for us, we'll be back in a few minutes, but for everybody watching, we'll be back in a second, right? So, okay. All right, so we're back. It's been some time for us, but for you, it's just been a second. So we have our characters. Wow, they look awesome. So I think we'll have everybody introduce their characters, mainly just focus on if you, your names, pronouns, if you changed any aspect of your background. If you don't want to bring up your background, that's also totally okay. I think the most important thing is just to know your motivations, drives, and your actions and what ability you picked. So we'll go in the time-honored gauntlet tradition of character keeper order. Right, so we'll start with Jessica. So Jolene, tell us about Jessica.
I'm playing Jessica Prince, codename the Silver Phantom. She's very much the James Bond type playbook, just no supernatural powers of her own. She's a high, her motivation is highest adrenaline spike that I've ever had was facing an enhance. So she's a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and she wants to prove that humans can hold their own against the supernatural as well. So those are she really loves excitement and just chasing down that thrill. Background wise, it's a bit it's just changing the pronouns of the original playbook of Jack Hayes, where she was a bad kid on a good path, grew up in London, Leeds, I guess. That sounds England.
Absolutely.
Became a spy. Literally, it sounds like James Bond's backstory for the most part. So that's what it called out to me.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, and what special ability did you pick?
Oh, I took Heartbreaker, I believe it's called. Twice per mission, you may ignore the consequences failure of a charm action using seduction as your means of leverage.
Perfection. I love it. Okay, and then just as a note, you always have at your disposal a silver knife. Everybody has like one special thing and then a comms device, right? Because that's how the operator talks to you. I should take note of, so when we say comms device, this is not like a small like Bluetooth device. Like it's kind of, you can kind of see it, right? Because this is like 1989. Technology's a little chunky, like it's not super sleek or anything like that. I will briefly talk about tech right after we introduce our characters. And next, so Joel, tell us about Mia.
Yeah, I'm playing Mia Schwartz, she, her pronouns. Her code name is Gunwitch. Her motivation is that flexing her powers is a rush, and she doesn't, so, why doesn't she use what she's trained for, and to use anything she can get her hands on, and she can quit anytime she wants. So she is a magus, and so that drive, I will mark anytime I successfully push a talisman or artifact past its limits. And then I also went with Hunter, since I wanted to prove humans can hold their own. So I'll mark this drive anytime I face a supernatural in close combat. And the ability I went with was Gunwitch. So whenever I push myself on a violence or supernatural roll, I will add 2 dice instead of the standard 1. And then I can also mark hexed or tired instead of a stress. And then any penalties don't apply till after the roll. I am pretty much just keeping the backstory kind of how it was. Her parents were a famous Perseus agent, and then who was working undercover in a warlock coven. So her father's out there somewhere who's a warlock, kind of like half in, half out of the agency, has a very devil may care attitude, always wanting to push her limits on every mission, that sort of thing. So I'm sure, she won't screw anything up at all.
Not at all. Absolutely. Okay. Very cool. And then I also want to say, if you want to think of an 80s song, that's your theme song, just for research purposes. Please feel free. But yeah, and then, sorry, I'm running so noisy. Okay. Next, Josh, tell us about Irina.
Yeah, so I am playing Irina Winter, she, her. Her name is not actually Irina Winter. She does not have her father is a minor Russian god named Mroz, and who defected from the Soviet Union because he doesn't like communism. It's too egalitarian for him. He's a god, not a fan of it. So he defected to America, where they understand authority. He likes it better. And he had a daughter who is Irina. Her code name is Winter, which is also her legal last name. And she grew up in the agency. She was raised in, like a staff daycare, and she she's been groomed from birth pretty much to be a new leader here. But sometimes she just wants to let it out, take off the ring that she has to wear that disguises her, like her ice cold body temperature, and summon some godly powers and sort of go buck wild.
Very cool, very cool. And so what drives do we have, or a motivation, sorry?
Yeah, so my motivation are demigod and devoted. So when I cast aside any pretense of being mortal, and when I ignore orders or a fellow agent in trouble to finish a mission objective, I mark experience.
I like how Leandra's face is like, who are these people I have to take care of?
It's a little difficult when your dad is literally a god to sort of put people into perspective. She's trying. She's
doing her best. Perfect. Yeah, and so what special ability did you pick up?
So my special ability is Blood of Winter. So when I seize an opportunity with supernatural, I may do one of the following. I may craft a simple object out of glacial ice. I may freeze an object with a touch, or I may summon a gust of frozen wind. I may pay the cost in time or my blood, and a miss is treated as a hit if I pay the cost 3 times. So I don't know what exactly that means.
So as far as I was able to pick it up on the Discord server, when you pay in your blood, it usually means marking the wounded condition. But as your GM, I'm also gonna say, like, we'll figure it out. Like, there might be story reasons, but for the most part, as far as I understood, it's wounded. But yeah, and then season opportunity, just to briefly cover it, is a specific move. When you attempt to seize an opportunity, say what the opportunity is. So in Irina's case, to say, I'm going to create this or that, and how you're planning to seize it. The GM will tell you what action you're rolling with and what it might cost you. On a hit, you get what you want. And then this can like set up another thing. So I will also say that you can pass an opportunity. So theoretically, Irina could like seize an opportunity for another agent. So you could do all this awesome supernatural stuff for somebody else so that they gain the +1D or they gain the opportunity, the narrative opportunity. But yeah, okay. All right. So, and I think because Jessica has Heartbreaker, there's one move, Manipulate Charm. So I think that's what your move relates to, but we'll see in play how it goes, because seizing an opportunity through charm is also a thing you can do. All right, and then last but not least, our operator, Cassandra West. So Leandra, tell us about Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra, codename Alchemist, is basically a technological prodigy. Built their first radio at the age of 6, TV at 9, and assembled their first computer at 14. They got recruited into Perseus R&D out of the corporate sector, and yeah, that's where they've been working ever since. There's someone who's very interested in systems and in trying to figure them out. Normally, they used to be in R&D, but stepped into the role of an operator to have a better idea of field conditions, basically, because R&D can only work so well if they know better how it feeds into how it helps agents on the field. But well, that's kind of like the 40% reason why they stepped up as operator. The other 60% is just to get these agents to test their shit. Uh, they've got some gadgets and gizmos aplenty, maybe some who's its, maybe some what's its. I don't know if they're in galore amount. And so yeah, they've got a few tricks up their sleeve, and hopefully the agents will use these tricks up right. Well, depending on how the dice go, I guess. Yeah, so I don't have motivations or drives. I'm just the voice in the comms, telling folks what to do and helping them out, which I'm grand with. The special ability that I took is a Gadgeteer, which twice per mission, I can give the agents a prototype gadget. So when I give to the agents, I roll armory, and on a hit, say what it is, and I pick 2. On 6, I pick 3 of these. Ooh, they're nice. On a miss, still get 2, but it's a prototype. Don't I mean, sure you can test them in the lab, but it's better to test them in the field. Am I right? All right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
Your guinea pigs are there for you. So so did you already pick your extra resources based on the agents you have?
oh yeah, so I added 2 to library because I had none. That might be helpful if cover identities need to be tested, and add another one to contacts. So basically, I somehow Cass knows people. Again, they're interested in systems, and that includes relationships. Weirdly enough, they don't have 1 dot in the actual systems stat, but they're an all-rounder.
Awesome. Yeah, and so I think a really interesting operator move is resist. So for example, I'm trying to not bring up other games, but this is basically the equivalent of resisting a consequence in Blades in the Dark, Leandra. So because Leandra's a Fortune in the Dark expert. So you get to mark off a resource for this mission. So for example, contacts go, so right now I think your contacts are, let's just say for example, right? So your contacts are 2. And then if you decide to resist and mark off the resource, then it'll go down to 1, right? And it just automatically negates the consequence on a roll for the agent. I have to, oh, it's so weird. It's not written here in the actual. I will double check the book, but as far as I know, if you burn this resource, it like stays burnt until the end of the mission chain, right? So so we're gonna probably start a mission today, maybe finish it, we'll see. But for sure we'll like maybe finish this mission next week and then have another mission after, right? So it won't refresh like that one that you burnt until like for the purposes of this series, of this 2-shot, it won't refresh.
Yeah, I figured that's why I have those like at the start of each
Mhm.
mission. You get 1 resource per agent, so I can burn those, because I'll just get them back. But the ones that are permanent, you don't get them back.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good way of reading it. Yeah. So, okay, all right. So with that, the next step is, I'm just double checking if I forgot anything. The next step is I'm going to give our operator the dossier for, so please excuse my inability to really write spice up. I was doing this last night. I was like, this is harder than I thought. I'm much easier. It's much easier for me to just like write arcane stuff that doesn't make any sense. but this kind of spy talk. But here, so I'm going to send the link here in the chat. But basically, this is what Cassandra. Ooh, let's set it up a bit. So
access.
Yeah. Oh, it does. I forgot to. Let me fix it. Yeah. So, share. Yes. I changed anyone with the link. Okay, copy link done. but yeah, before we get into it, Cassandra, where are you usually in Project Perseus headquarters? Like, what is Cassandra's corner of the space?
Cassandra's corner, or C squared, as nobody calls it. I think someone tried to call it once, and Cassandra threw a Rubik's cube at them. Is I think I think it's like because they were quite happy with the kind of like workbench slash cubicle section R&D, but because they're like, you're an operator now, you get an office. If you go to their office, there's like the big desk in the middle, but there's like nothing on it. Instead, they're in a corner in the office, with a desk and a bunch of like blueprints tacked up next to the wall, and there's filing cabinets all around. It's it's a kind of thing that they describe as organized chaos. Like, it doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. And the only thing on the desk is like a pile of Rubik's cubes, because I decided that's their thing. Um, and and it's usually like real silent. Like, they don't really play much music. Um, they're kind of like in the corner, just like drafting stuff, looking at files. They don't like the desk because it's so central. Um, so they're like a little gremlin in their corner.
Nice. So as the camera pans like across this chaos, right, before it gets to you, what music do we hear playing for the series opener?
Oh man, put me on the spot, dude. I said 80s music, and it's like,
I can suggest stuff if you like. Here, let me send you the lighthearted Spotify playlist. So that thank you, Kurt,
Sorry,
for putting this
I
together.
Sorry, I didn't live in the 80s.
What? I didn't either, but I love it. So I feel like it just really. I can give you suggestions in case you don't have any, but.
Yeah, if you'd asked me about 90s music, I'd be much better at it. Sorry.
Well, the next time we'll go into the 90s. I just couldn't let go of the 80s music.
God, like I saw Fame on there. It's like, that was from the 70s. How dare you? I'm getting hung up on this. Walk Like an Egyptian. Sure, why not? That's a fun, bouncy tune.
Absolutely. All right, so Walk Like an Egyptian is playing. Is it playing from I like the idea, like there's like a cassette player somewhere, or the radio. It's buried by all of this junk before we get to your gremlin self, right? And you receive, how do you usually receive orders? Does someone come in to give it to you? Do you just receive it through wow, I don't think we have email yet. There's no.
To be fair,
No.
we are
a very
in a magical world.
Yeah,
with
true.
super science.
Well,
So.
Yeah. Maybe we have an equivalent
so
of email.
Probably like DARPANET, right?
Amazing. That is correct.
So,
Yeah,
ARPANET
I think
actually,
Like an
if
ancient
there's-
version of email.
If there's hackers, I mean, which there were, so
yeah,
the internet existed, but in '89, so
Yeah.
So there was like university internet, right? So we might
Yeah.
have internet just in like it's only in the actual agency.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Emails from
we're not
office.
beholden to actual history, so
True. But those limitations are there just but yes, we're absolutely not beholden to history. There are vampires and shit. But yeah, just for a limitation. But I like the idea, like there's an internet that's like limited through the network through Perseus. So so you receive the mission brief, and let me put it up on the screen for people watching. So basically, your mission is as follows. Number one objective is to protect the VIP Sarah Masaki, who is the last surviving Angelus heir. And what you know about the Angelus is they are Project Perseus has been watching them with great interest. They kind of come off as like a nice cult. That is the best way to put it. But basically, they claim that they come from a line of angels from those that were of the host that descended after during the Pentecost, basically all those years ago. So they can trace their lineage back to there, supposedly. But Sarah Masaki is the last surviving heir. All others have been killed by other operatives on the scene throughout the years. So point number 2, Sarah left the Angelus estate under mysterious circumstances. Evidence indicates demonic interest. Sources point to the Red Dawn faction and new leader, Azrael. So this new Red Dawn faction, they're all badass. They all have names after fallen angels. I have a special fallen angel oracle deck to give us new names for new for new cult members. So there you go. Now, point number 3, Sarah has been seen in Tokyo, Japan. The oracle predicts Sarah will appear at Shibuya Crossing at exactly 11:11 p.m. So the oracle is usually right by at least, by the minute, but like they're not able to tell you exactly where in Shibuya, just that they'll be part of that crossing but Shibuya Crossing is like this huge intersection. Like each time the green light comes on, like it can be up to close to 100 people passing through, right? So you can already see the problem there. More even, yeah. I have video footage from the 80s, y'all, like of the Shibuya Crossing from that time. Let's see. But yeah, it's like a packed area, right? That can be, so trying to find this Angelus at 11 around in the evening, close to midnight, is going to be difficult. And aside from that, number 4, a fashion event featuring avant-garde designers will flood Shibuya with tourists and visitors. Directive: find Sarah and bring them to a safe house within Tokyo. Specific instructions to be procured at the Shibuya post office, which is relatively nearby Shibuya Crossing. Number 5, Sarah's disappearance leaves too many open questions. Directive: procure any and all information from Sarah. Number 6, the Red Dawn has increased their numbers and have stolen valuable supernatural assets. In order to hunt down Sarah. Request: so this is not like a main objective, but if you can fulfill this one, it will definitely help during the mission debriefing. So request: find out what you can about persons of interest within the Red Dawn and the stolen assets. Number 7, Tokyo is a difficult environment with competing supernatural forces, and destabilizing the situation may lead to local unrest. Directive: maintain clandestine status. And finally, additional briefing materials found in Operation File 012789, Passcode Glory. Any questions, operator?
What does happen if I access additional briefing materials found in Operation File
Sure.
012789?
Yeah, you can find out more information about what Project Perseus knows about Sarah Masaki and about Azrael. So what you find out is Sarah Masaki is not much information is available to them because they had killed all the previous Angelus hires. They have been so protective of Masaki. In fact, that's not even their real name. They just took on that moniker. And so their real name is Saint Michael. And Masaki, and the Angelus also claims to have direct access to the empty throne of God, but Project Perseus does not know what that means. They're not sure if it's a physical thing, if it's a person, but they just know that it's called the empty throne of God. In the additional files, you can also pull up that Azrael, who is the new leader of the Red Dawn, used to be a underground fighting champion, hence those thighs that can crush lives, as you can see in the NPC. I'm gonna pull it up for people watching. I was like, I need to include this picture. Anyway, so these thighs. have like broken several heads in the underground scene, specifically in Berlin. And so they had no previous connection with the supernatural whatsoever. They just disappeared 6 months ago and resurfaced as the new leader of the Red Dawn. So this is completely suspicious. But yeah, so that's what you're able to pull up in terms of who the possible players are. You're pretty sure that the Red Dawn is going to be in the scene, but you know there are lots of competing factions. Could be vampires, could be thaumaturges, that's what they call witches in this world. So, but you know it's all bubbling underneath the surface.
Beautiful. I think Cass is just gonna like read all that, and will send off emails to to the system being and to the specific agents being like, okay, eating mission time, kids. And while they're waiting for everyone to file in, they're gonna, I guess I should clean up, and start cleaning their desk, dump all the Rubik's cubes into like an empty drawer, and just kind of like maybe artfully place some files to make it look like they use the desk. And then kind of realize, oh no, I don't have any chairs here. I should grab some chairs, and drag in some like 4 folding chairs, and then is stuck considering whether to put cushions on the folding chairs, and realize like, no, these are badass agents. They don't need that. They'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to say that 2 of you are actually already in Tokyo, right? So which 2 are already there? I don't know why Brennan is so excited for this game. It's so noisy today. But yeah, Mia, do you think that you would be in Tokyo?
Yeah, I think she would be.
And so what were you doing in Tokyo? Was it like the last mission you were on, or is this something personal?
I think she had kind of gotten a lead on like a spell that, you know, witches could like pick up and learn, and she's just kind of like, she doesn't have like a teacher, or she hasn't done any of the pacts or sacrifices, so she's just trying to absorb as much like knowledge about witchcraft as she can get her hands on, so that she can like fake it till she makes it, basically. So there's like a back alley like deal going on where she's like paying someone for illicit spells.
Nice. So we cut to that, like it says on the Tokyo, Japan, Tokyo, and then we see Mia Schwartz like in that back alley. As we cut back to Cassandra, like thinking cushions, no cushions, cushions, no cushions. And then we cut to one more agent who's there. I feel like it makes sense for Irina to be at Project Perseus, but do you think maybe she ran away instead to like do something in Tokyo?
Yeah, you know what? Sure, why not? She is in Tokyo right now. She's on sabbatical. You know, she's on vacation. It's a stressful job, and they don't want to upset her because they want to make sure that she never leaves because she's a very valuable asset. So they let her take trips sometimes. And maybe someone knew that actually there was some upcoming projects in, you know, Japan that they had to get her on, and this might have just been a front, but whatever. She's been, you know, having a spa day.
Nice. So who is the annoying tail that your father insisted keep track of you?
Yeah, I think there's a very obvious like American Project Perseus handler who is sort of following around. He's wearing a suit, but he has, you know, the sunglasses on. He's a very suspicious, sort of like standout guy. But I think he is also kind of taking advantage of it because he's never been to Japan before. It's a very exciting time for him. So he has like a little shopping bag with him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the shopping is going crazy around this time. Like this was Tokyo like reaching its heights like before the bubble burst after the
Yeah.
in the late 90s. So yeah, absolutely. And I think we see a shot of him noticing that you notice, and then he goes, "Oh no, I'm just I'm mostly here for an appointment at the spa." Cut back to Cassandra once again. Cushion, no cushion, cushion, no cushion. And then so Jessica, you walk into Cassandra's office. You've been called. So what do we see? Like, how amazing is your outfit?
Oh, it's très chic. Um, yep, that's how good I am at describing outfits. So, probably a knee-length skirt, an immaculate white blouse, uh, heels, stockings, uh, perfectly done nails, of course, bright red lipstick. Uh,
Perfect, perfect. So what's Jessica's poison? Is it uh a glass of a cocktail that she already has, even though it's not even afternoon yet? Or is it a cigarette in your hand?
I mean, I have to choose.
We can have both. Why not? You have two hands.
Yeah, and I'm looking over to the counters. I'm like, where is your bar?
I think Cassandra has been.
Cassandra.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't drink. I forget that. That's what agents like to do. And also, I
Yes,
already
well,
spent the budget on this workbench. Um, so you already came prepared. I don't see why I need to have a bar. You bring your own bar, basically, Jess. Bring it wherever you go.
it's common courtesy.
Well, we're kind of working. It's a workplace. Do you drink at a workplace? I mean, this isn't the most normal workplace in the world, I suppose. But like I said,
Do you not? As she puts the cigarette in one of the cigarette holster, because super fancy, of course. And she looks at the what is this? You still haven't.
It's a chair.
That is not a chair. That is an insult. When your superiors come in here, you have them sit on that?
Well, no, I usually come to them. They know to avoid these. Besides, it's a chair. It achieves the bare minimum definition of a chair. I mean, goodness knows, I know you believe your ass deserves like the finest pillows in God's green earth, but well, I don't have those. You'll have to make do. I put in a cushion for you, Jess. There you go.
I'll stand, thank you.
Where are the other? Oh, shit! They're already in Japan. I guess it's just you here. They busy to grab the file, start briefing you, and then they remember like, all right, I guess I should send the file to the folks in Japan already. How do you feel about demons?
I mean, depends on the demon, really.
Well, I guess it's a very loose definition. Vampires usually know what to get. Werewolves usually know what to get. Demons, they're like, oh, are they from this religion? Are they from this book?
It depends if they're useful or not.
True.
If I'm expected to kill one, yes, of course I'll kill one.
Well, you might get entangled with them soon. But
what are we dealing with?
Well, you're dealing with have you heard of, since you've heard of demons, you must have heard of the Angelus bloodline. Fancy people claim to have a connection to God.
Yeah.
One of them alive.
Many claim that. God.
Well, no harm in testing whether it's true or not. It just so happens the last surviving heir is going to resurface in Japan at some point. And well, the mission is to make sure that Project Perseus gets to them first before anyone else does.
So it's an extraction.
Yeah. it's an extraction in lovely Shibuya down in Tokyo. When was the last time you were in Japan?
Last month probably.
Hmm. How was it? Was it glamorous? Was it exciting? Was it fun?
Messy. As the flashback to, like just like a knife fight with a vampire, probably. As they're biting me and I'm just like stabbing them in the neck. It's
Perfect,
getting the
perfect.
bed sheets all bloody.
Oh, bed sheets, amazing.
Of course.
Of course. Well, this time, directive is to not get things messy. Sarah, Masaki, and I think they pull up like a photo to like show you. And this is all stuff that like the other two agents are probably gonna get. Um, Sarah Masaki is expected to show up in a public place, so be sure to procure them, bring them to the Tokyo Safe House. You'll find more at the Shibuya Post Office, and
Who will I be
make sure.
working with? Anyone on the
Oh
ground?
yeah, oh yeah, of course. I wouldn't want to send you there on your lonesome. I mean, I know you can take on the world. You've proven that enough times. But this one's important. It might not just be demons. There's several other factions out there.
There's
You've heard of
factions
our
everywhere. Cass.
Well, I guess that goes without saying. You're working with one of our rising stars, Irina Winter. Heard of her?
Ah, yes. Another descendant of a god.
Hmm. Well, that god's out and about, and they probably would appreciate if their princess gets through this mission unscathed. So there you go.
Well, clearly, if she's working with us, we rather do like them to remain unscathed.
Mm-hmm. And you're also working with actually with Mia Schwartz, which the two of you
Gunwitch.
worked before.
Yes, we did the Prague mission last year.
Oh, beautiful! That one was exceptionally
Yes.
messy, from what I've heard.
Yeah. These things happen.
Well,
If you told us there was Rusalka involved, it wouldn't have gotten so messy.
Well, look, there's only so much you can learn about the Prague sewer systems. I didn't even know Rizalka could stay there for longer than a few weeks. It's a learning curve, and the two of you are still alive, aren't you?
For now.
Perfect, perfect. And I think as that happens, we cut to both our other agents receiving their orders. And so, Cassandra, your first duty as an operator is to decide the outfits for each of our. Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot to mention points of entry. So there are several ways you can go about this, Cassandra, for your agents. Because there is a fashion show going on, because there's an event, you could have them infiltrate the event. Everybody's pretty enough to be on the catwalk, no problem, or to come in as a designer if you want them to be undercover. But you could also have them infiltrate to be one of the security people, maybe even the local police, who are making sure that the event goes smoothly. And so you have that between those two choices, but if you have something else in mind for an entry point, there's that as well. So with that, you choose an outfit for each agent, and then depending on which outfit you choose, that's how many items that you can also give them for the mission.
Oh, cool. Oh, so I have to decide for each agent.
Yeah.
Well, this is a collaborative table, so I'm gonna disclaim decision making.
Oh no, this is your responsibility, operator.
What? Oh,
so
gosh.
if you make a mistake, you get to deal with the guilt.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I think let's see who we have. God, this is just like being in charge in Night Witches, except uh, less chance of death, hopefully.
I mean, there is the dead condition, but yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that. Remember again, what was the points of entry? Because I was reading up these
Sure, no
outfits.
worries, no worries. So the two that I offered were they could go undercover as a designer or as a model for the fashion event, or they could be part of the security detail, either a bodyguard, police officer, some other security force that's going to be because like the event is like spread out all throughout Shibuya. So it'll take place in like different buildings and different places. It's all happening in one go. There's even a concert going on in one area.
Yeah. I think because it's impossible for Jessica to not be glamorous in anything that she's in, she's gonna be, we'll put her in the fashion event. She'll take on a fancy outfit. So, designer brand. You can flavor if you want to be like, a designer or a model. That's up to yourself, Jolene. I think I might do the same for Arena because there's just godliness is it's stands out. Why not put it in the most obvious place? And Mia, you can be the more stealthier side. We'll put you in security. Feel free if you want to go the other way. If you have your own ideas. I don't want to be like just put you in the spot, or
But it's
choose
your
completely
job as
for
an
you. I
operator to put
know,
them
I
on the
Yeah,
spot.
yeah. You have to choose.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, it says talk with your agents. That's what it says in the.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I know. I know. I think we will put, if it's okay, Mia, you'll go under like casual wear, as like a plainclothes security, um, and both Irina and Jessica will look fancy.
Nice. Okay, so we have two fancy, and like, oh, sorry, I clicked one by accident for you. And then from there you choose the armory. From the army, what you're going to give them. So you'll notice. I'm not sure, right? I don't know if you have just one of each, or if you can have one for different agents. That's a that's a. Let me just double check what it looks like in the playbook for the operator, if there's only one box. For the stuff, outfits, contacts, where's the items. Yeah, it looks like there's just one box. I don't know if someone has the pistol, that means someone else has to have the knife, right? So I feel I'm gonna ask this on the Discord server, but for now, let's work under the assumption that it's just the one, which is weird. Okay, let's just go with that assumption though, just in case.
Yeah, and I guess like, do I have to decide what those items are now, or in the mission?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Oh,
But
wow.
then you can react after, right? And then you can roll
Yeah,
for gear, and then you can say, oh, it was hidden there waiting for you, right? That's how it goes. But there's an initial set that they go with.
Okay.
I think the implication might be that in the playbook sheet, the stuff on the left is you have one of, and the stuff on the right is you can have more than one of.
Oh, the common stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
I split it into common. Oh, wait. No. I didn't split. I split the contacts that way.
Yeah, I think the armory is meant to be split between unique and common.
Yeah, why didn't I? Yeah, okay, I'll split that next time. Yeah, so maybe we can do that.
Let me actually look at these sheets.
Sure.
Then, sorry.
No worries. So basically for fancy, they get 2 common items of your choice, and then casual wear 3 common items.
Okay. I can't believe a vehicle is is common gear.
It's easy for you to access, yeah.
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 Okay. So fancy, yeah, you can have 2 common items. And if you want a vehicle, uh,
I can
actually
drive
no, we should.
underwater, by the way, because that's Cassandra's thing.
Yeah, I mean we're testing out flight, flight capabilities. I'm just saying. But you're in a Shibuya crossing. Okay. I think definitely both of you can get like a pistol or two. So you can have that on you for the fancy. I should clarify.
Do we
Do you have
get
an idea?
that? Because it says
Yes.
two
Yeah.
common items
Yeah, and then so you can write it in
are
your
common
character sheet.
pistols.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, pistol.
right.
Yeah.
So you have a section there like under gear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you
I
can just
see.
type it in whatever Cassandra gives you. Mhm.
Yeah. So I know like the point of the mission is not to cause a fuss, but there will be fuss. So you might as well have a pistol on you. You two fancy ladies. And let me see these here. Disguise. Confirm.
So you have to check off on your list first, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you only get one of each, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
mm,
that's what
I yeah. I think the best way to clarify like when you give stuff through outfits, do they
Yeah.
get checked off in the armor?
Yeah, because I get weirded out how there's one box right in the layout, but that could just be a layout issue.
So I guess rule of cool applies with an international conspiratorially government agency. Is funding limited to there's only one fake ID?
Yeah, I don't think that makes sense either. Yeah. So we could just have multiples for the common, like Josh suggested.
And
Like especially smalls. Like I can understand. Like all right, we don't need 2 supercars, but like here's fake IDs, here's disguises.
Yeah,
you might need a fake ID actually, since the two of you are going to be in the or at least going to be.
I was biting my tongue. I'm like, am I allowed to talk to you during this? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
You can suggest things.
If you want me to infiltrate as one of the models, I'm going to need an ID.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the two of you should have those.
We all need IDs, unless you just want us to give us our real.
Oh yeah,
names.
no, yeah. The
I mean, I could do the Prince Jessica Prince thing. I don't care, but like also.
That's fair. Yeah, no. Everyone's gonna get a fake ID. That's kind of like, since we're infiltrating, we're meant to be pretending. And Mia gets 2 more things. Where am I? Sorry, I got so many tabs.
No worries.
Yeah. Since Mia is the one in security, and we're not meant to make a fuss, I'm also gonna give you some chloroform. The thing is that like if there's something I miss, I can roll to try and plant more gear. As the mission goes on.
Exactly.
So like if there's something I didn't give you at the start that you might need later, we'll like flashback and we'll see if you get that stuff, because then I have to roll.
Request disguise then.
Ooh.
Gotta have wigs. Gotta have wigs and maybe crazy Mission Impossible masks.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can absolutely take that. Since I think if you're not gonna take the pistol, you can take the disguise then.
I got a knife. I don't need a pistol.
That's fair.
Yes.
And Mia already has pistols. Irina, did you want the pistol or do you want something else?
Do I want the pistol?
I mean,
do you want the pistol?
I'm torn between disguise and the vehicle. Let's be fair. I mean, if we're doing,
I think a vehicle would be very helpful.
yeah,
I'll take the vehicle, not the pistol.
Okay.
I'll have a car.
Get the.
Hell yeah.
What kind of vehicle do I have? You're the device person.
And it has to be souped up, like capable of doing crazy things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, God, I'm not a car person. My mind just went to an Aston Martin because that's what James Bond drives.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there is like we get like a montage of the vehicle being flown out to Japan. There's a manual, and yeah, it says here it's a souped up car with tricks, can drive underwater.
It's like the Lotus.
Yeah, and I think there's like some badly drawn like a picture book manual of like what it looks like when it goes underwater. And
So jealous now.
heck yeah. And Mia, you have one more common item because you're in the casual where. So let's see. You already got a fake ID. You got chloroform. You got 2 pistols. Since you're in like security, might give you an emergency beacon just in case things happen.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't get a stealth blade in here. I need clearance.
Yeah, we need this mission to go off without a hitch, so that totally easy, totally doable, no problems.
Oh, there's grapple guns.
Oh, you get
Unfair.
those, or because they're
No,
Okay.
that's armory, right?
oh yeah,
Those are
yeah,
technically weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It's not specified well.
Yeah, because like grapple gun is under. It's not common.
It sounds like it's a unique item.
So I
Oh,
think
you
you
know.
can only have the grapple gun if you have tactical gear or distinguished.
Yeah,
That's the way that I would read.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
actually,
Just reading the box under it says if unique items are lost, like that stealth plane,
Yeah,
which is listed
Actually-
under the armory stuff, they can be replaced. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that means like you don't. I think you don't start with a
So,
grapple gun.
I mean,
but I can
playtesting notes wise, it's
Let me write this
odd.
down.
Yeah, okay.
It's odd that.
Some of this stuff is odd to be listed as unique items. Like it should all just be like a rebreather for super spies.
Mhm,
Like body armor is unique.
mhm.
Like I get it being tied to outfits, but like a grapple gun is not technically like armory.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're misreading because underneath contacts here, let me show you what I'm looking at. Because under contacts, they're super specific about the left column and the right column, right? But here, for example, I think it's a little easier with our dude, Thomas Blaze, who may be not a dude if we pick her up and she could become Tina, I don't know. But basically it says here, if unique items are lost, the ring, orb, anything in the personal armory. So I wonder, because it's just easier to know which is probably like a unique item. So I don't think ringers are a unique item. I don't think mystic seals.
I think like the left column is all supposed to be uniques.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because like
Yeah.
even in Philippe's thing, it says if unique items are lost, like the Crimson Blade,
Yeah.
like they're all in boldface.
Yeah, I think
If it's bold, then it's unique. Ah,
that
Right.
makes sense. Yes.
yeah. So maybe
Which
we
like
can.
I guess like I mean the obvious playtesting note, be more specific with the language used.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
replace armory with unique items.
Yeah. Because that's why when in the character sheet, I just separated the common contacts and unique contacts, period. But yeah, maybe.
And then like
Mhm,
the
mhm.
follow-up note is if this is a game about playing super spies, you need to make things like some of these things should not be unique.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Well, what makes it
Absolutely.
unique is that like the stuff like the grapple gun, like they only exist for Cassandra. Like Thomas doesn't have them in their armory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe it's tied to playbooks.
okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Thomas has a witch ball, ring of Al Mirage, and ringers or mystic seals and a ghost blade, while Cassandra has the grapple gun and rebreathers and whatnot.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I guess that's weird because like night vision goggles is only in Philippe's, but like why wouldn't Cassandra have access to night vision goggles if she's into technology?
So they're more concerned about the stealth plane.
Yeah, they focus on the stuff like. But yeah, good points, definitely. All right, so I think with that, let me double check. I think that's all our operator has to do because we picked our point of entry, we picked our outfits and our stuff. Let me just go to that part. Yeah, and then we're ready to play. So with that in mind, because we're a little bit past the top of the hour, how about we take our last break? Like what I see in mind is we'll just play as much as we can for the mission and then we'll continue next session. Like, no worries. And probably have a second session after that. Okay, cool. Sorry, a second mission like in the next session. All right, so I'll see you all in 10 minutes. Take care, everybody. See you in a bit. Okay, so right before I started up the recording, we had a question. We were going over like contacts and stuff. So my understanding of contact from the move, the way that it's described, let me put it on the screen. So the GM who you have placed on the scene, the GM secretly rolls your contacts +1. So basically Cassandra will choose which of their contacts that they're putting. And I think like in my mind, a unique contact is usually immediately more helpful. I mean, depending on the situation, right? And what's needed. But if something happens to them, like their cover is blown or they're killed or, something like that, then it'll be harder to replace them versus a common contact. They just automatically are retrained. It's easier to find a new technician, easier to find a teenager. Anyway, like, whoever you need. So, sorry, if you're talking
I'm
to
muted.
oh yeah,
I was muted.
Yeah.
This is just a comment, but the fact that a hacker requires clearance level 5 seems that they're not that common.
yeah, because I think it's the technology being not that, like, it's not that easy to find someone who knows how to hack.
Yeah, like even looking at the other operators,
Mhm.
agent trainee requires clearance level 5.
Mhm,
Like there's all these things. There's a bunch of unaligned ghoul.
mhm.
Like, are they common if you need to be like top clearance level? That's just a question.
Yeah. In my mind, it's kind of like it's just easy for Project Perseus to let you have access to what's easy for them, is the way that I'm interpreting it. But that's a good question. I'm also
Yeah, no, it's just like a playtesting
yeah. No.
observation.
This is very good. Super appreciate it. Right. So absolutely helpful. Yeah. And then so yeah, but back to the contact question. I guess it's like Cassandra's like, what are they willing to burn, right? In case things go south. Right.
Yeah, like, do I want to go with someone as boring as a technician or an actor, or do I want to bring in a werewolf or a vampire or a mad scientist?
Yeah, I saw the mad scientist. I was like, wow, that's so good. But yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, so with that, we're going to set up the scene. So Cassandra has placed everybody in their appropriate entry points, right? So if I yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I question mostly for Cassandra, like, well, actually Leandro technically. With your gadgeteer move, like, are you like, do you have to meet us to do that? Trigger that?
No, I can just say the thing is, like, the way the operator moves work, we can just like flash back to say, "Oh, I had this prepared for you."
Okay.
Yeah. Like I don't have to show up on the scene. Like we just say
Okay.
like, "Oh, I planted this."
I didn't know if you wanted to like just do it right off the bat or not.
I don't have an idea for this gadget yet.
That's fair.
Let's see what the occasion, what the situation will bring about.
Yeah. Good question. All right. So I'd like a shot of everybody like establishing where you are and what you're doing. So yeah, let's go in character keeper order. So let's start with Jessica. Jessica, tell us about where we see you. Like let me set up the scene so it's a little easier for people. It is around 11 p.m. We're gonna cut it close, right? So it's around 11 p.m. But you've been here for a while. You've been setting up things for at least a few hours beforehand, and so we see that the billboards are up. It's busy. There's lots of people. There are a huge amount of fashionable individuals just wearing the most insane, interesting outfits, and because for everything for this avant-garde festival, there's like music blaring through from a nearby concert that's going on. There are lights and sounds all over the place. There's a throng of people every few seconds crossing across Shibuya, right? And so where do we see Jessica?
We know. Do we know what Sarah looks like?
Yeah,
Do
you
we
have that.
Okay, good. Because I know we have the NPC's photo. I just didn't know if like that was like we
Yeah,
actually had photos.
Yeah, so you have like several
them.
like you know, this
Right.
long distance like what are those photos? Why did I say
Okay.
anyway? But yeah, this like
I think Jessica is working the show because she's got the idea as the model. Because we don't know. We just know they're around there. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we see a shot of like Jessica coming down the catwalk,
The runway,
right?
yeah, the catwalk runway thing, doing like the pose and keeping an eye out on the crowd, trying to see if they're in the crowd or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. What music do we hear as you walk down the runway?
Oh, it's just instrumental. It's like the classic, like they don't have anything overpowering. It's not like a live band type situation.
Right, so we just
It's
hear
probably
the
something
synthy.
that goes with the avant-garde fashion that's going on. So it's not really my cup of tea, but I know how to fake it till I make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool, very cool. All right, and then what do we see of Arena? Oh, sorry, Josh, what do we see of Arena Winters?
Oh, sorry, I misheard you.
No worries, no worries.
Arena is, yeah, Arena steps out sort of onto the street. She's dressed well. She's dressed fancily, one might say. She looks very, very. She's clearly in high fashion, and she's looking around. She knows this is sort of where she's there to meet Jessica. Does she see Jessica?
Sure.
Yeah, she sees Jessica, recognizes her from whatever briefing that she has had, and sort of walks towards her inconspicuously, as like a spy might walk towards another spy, until they are sort of next to each other, facing opposite directions. Doesn't say anything, but just sort of acknowledges the presence.
Yeah, that slow-mo spy moment where like the eyes cross each other for a moment. Very cool. So what's your cover again, Arena? Are you also a model or one of the designers?
Yeah, Arena is a designer. Her is her cover here.
So the cover's easily. You designed whatever I'm modeling.
Yeah, but that is literally the cover. I'm also obviously dressed up because I am a fashion designer, and fashion designers tend to dress up for these events. But I am not going to walk on the runway in my cover.
Absolutely. Very cool, very cool. And then what do we see of Mia?
I think Mia at the moment is kind of like posing as a street photographer, maybe. So she has like what would you call it? A pass for like the back rooms, a press pass, like around her neck, and like she's got a camera and she's taking like pictures of people kind of out on the street that want to like show off that they've been here, and is like complimenting them when she takes a picture, turns around and just kind of like rolls her eyes at like all the over the top stuff. And she's using it as an opportunity to just keep an eye out on the crowd to try and see if she can see anyone, and has like on her hand she has scrawled like angel cult and then the person's name and then like demon people and like Azrael, and she just kind of like references the palm of her hand every once in a while as she's taking pictures.
Awesome, awesome. And so what do we see of Cassandra when we cut back to Cassandra in her at her corner, not the desk?
Yeah, I think because this is like an operation, they've had to like drag Cassandra, or no, well, they did that in the past, but now like they have to go. They are like with like a proper staff. I think it's not just them. But it's like definitely. I think it's like a. I'm gonna say it's like a conference room, but because Cassandra's insisted, like, all right, you gotta have some computers, you gotta have just some stuff here. It's like a conference room for like a startup kind of vibe. They've dragged some computers, and Cassandra's kind of like, when they're nervous, they start fiddling with a Rubik's cube, um, and I think that's what they're doing is they're pacing behind these like analysts in who are like looking up stuff, and they're like playing with a Rubik's cube.
Perfect. And so it's one of those big blocky like computers, right? And like it's just black with mostly the green text on it. And we see you with the Rubik's cube. And so your assistant is there. She's nervously tapping at a table, looking back and forth, looking over everything. Why do you like working with this assistant, even though Project Perseus is not really happy about them working here?
Because they try so hard, and it's kind of adorable. They mean well. Who doesn't like someone who means well? I think like I kind of like I think I kind of like share to them to like come over. I think I make them hold the Rubik's cube and kind of like space out their like their shoulders. I push their shoulders down a bit, and just say, "Relax. You're not the one out in the field, so you don't get to be that nervous."
And so she turns to you. She has she's dyed her hair blonde, got this awesome 90s 80s mullet, of course, and this really tragic silk shirt on that was really popular around the time. And Anita like looks at you. Right, not on the field yet, she says, finger gunning. Yeah, but right, it'll be okay. We got this, we're prepared, she says. And at that exact moment when she does, Mia, you lift up the camera and you're taking pictures, and through the crowd you see for a moment the target, the person of interest that you have to protect coming through. You see Sira Misaki, you see the white blonde hair, the Asian features, and there's this strange like you notice when you look at them through the camera, there's this weird lens flare that keeps cutting through, right? That's almost unnatural. And you see them walking. For a moment, you even see like when they brush up against someone, they kind of go through for a moment before they become solid again. So Mia, what do you do next?
I think she looks down at her camera and kind of mutters under her breath how like Cassandra keeps giving them bugged equipment because they just can't, leave well enough alone. And then like it's a camera on a chain, so she just swings it behind her back, and starts to follow Sarah from like a safe, spy distance, trying to like not get too close while looking around, trying to catch the attention of either Jessica or Irina, and like use their, Perseus designated like hand signals to like indicate like one person forward.
Perfect. Okay, so as you move through the crowd, I think we're gonna have, let me double check if it makes sense, if we're gonna have a maneuver roll. I think we're not quite chasing them down just yet because I'm looking at pursue. So you're able to follow, you're able to keep track. But as you do so, Jessica, you got the signal. You're about to come off of the runway again, but that's when you can see off of the roof of one of the nearby buildings, there's that telltale red glint for just a moment. And then as you take a look at exactly where Misaki is, you can see like this red dot starts to show up right on their forehead. What do you do?
I mean, I probably have to get back out of the spotlight to warn the others. And you said like or communicate. We don't have like the
You have an
FBI
earpiece.
head sides.
Yeah. You have like an earpiece. It's a little big, right? Like you can put it on, but you can definitely keep in contact with each other, no problem.
Okay, so like, yeah, like I'm like, all right, well, got a problem of some sort. Did y'all see that red dot on Sarah's forehead? I give the clock position of where I saw the glint.
Yeah, absolutely. Cassandra,
12 o'clock, so many feet up.
yeah, Cassandra, you could theoretically look up the maps and see where that's probably
Yeah.
coming from if you want to.
Yeah, let's gather some info. Yeah, I think I get the position from Jessica, and I think I kind of like the motion that Anita, my assistant, to like start pulling up maps of Shibuya and see where that could be positioned. And get to make a first roll. Oh no!
Heck yeah, you got this. You got this.
No, I rolled badly.
No, you wrote well. You got this.
Right. Oh, whoops! Clicked the wrong thing. Oh wait, no, those are 2 dice. Because my library's 2, because I added the resource there. That's a 5.
Nice. Okay, so on a 5, let me just double check what happens.
On a hit, you get good info.
Nice. The only difference is on a 6, you can ask a follow-up question.
Yeah, so I just get the info.
Perfect. Yeah.
But
so
this info maybe get agents +1 die if they can leverage it.
Nice. So there is you can tell that it's actually coming from the Shibuya post office, which is like about 8 stories high, right? And so that's immediately worrying though, because that's supposed to be the next contact point where you're supposed to get information about where to take the target to safety. But it's definitely coming from the post office nearby. It's like I'm looking at the map here. It's about 2 blocks away.
Yeah, I think I relate to everyone. Like, red dot seems to be coming from the post office, which is not great because that's meant to be where they're meant to bring our heir. One of you, I think like let's see, who would I send over? All right. Sorry, I'm trying to remember who said what. It's late where I am.
No worries,
Sorry. It's nearly 5 o'clock.
So we all see Sarah though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, this is a party, right? People are just mingling. I will approach. Like, our directive is to approach her and escort them to a safe house.
I think related, at least one of you should like go to the safe house first and just make sure that like it is safe, because apparently
I feel like we probably would have done that before we started on the mission.
Okay, I think obviously the number one danger here is the sniper with a gun trained on the person's head.
Yeah,
presumably.
So I can like move between them,
Yes. So I think Jessica. So Arena sort of whispers into her comms. She has a hairstyle to cover an ear, and underneath that ear is an earbud. And she sort of hisses to Jessica. She says, "Get to wherever that sniper is and take them out."
Our mission is to get Sarah out of here.
We can't get Sarah out of here if she is dead. And Arena is going.
But if we get out of here, we're running. I was like, and then I'm like, just like calms off. I'm like,
Arena is going to seize an opportunity with the supernatural. this is a crowded place. Lots of things are happening. Arena is going to raise up a hand and attempt to summon a gust of wind, a gust of frozen wind, to sort of blow Sarah, make her stumble a little bit out of the immediate path of danger. And then I'm gonna, sort of try to execute a spy swoop out of there.
Heck yeah, I love this so much. Okay, so on seizing opportunity, you told me what the opportunity is and how you're planning to seize it. What action we wrote sounds like supernatural.
Yeah.
Since you're calling upon your ability, so let's see what it looks like. How many do we call them dots? Like, do we call them dots here? How many dots do you have in supernatural? 2, I see. Okay.
I have 2 in supernatural. So that is a 5.
Ooh, nice.
I got.
Nice. Okay, so on a 5, oh, I forgot to tell you what it might cost you. So yeah, I didn't read that part, my bad. So I'm gonna say that what it's going to cost you is the gust of wind. I think it's just going to cause some people to panic, right? Because there's this sudden gust of wind, it cuts through, it forces Misaki to fall over. I think it's going to be more than just Misaki who gets affected. Are you okay with paying that cost?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you
Sure.
can control the chaos a little bit.
Why not?
Yeah,
I'm a
just,
demigod. It's my motivation.
yeah,
Sometimes I like to let loose.
it's true. Oh, nice. Okay.
Sometimes it feels good to cut loose. That's what it says.
Oh, do you want to okay, I don't know if we're quite at marking XP.
I'm not gonna push it.
Yeah, but it's in line with it.
Aside the pretense of being mortal.
Nice. But we're close. We're close. There's a moment where we see your face crystallize just for a fleeting moment, not enough for anyone to catch it. So it is, as you say though, Misaki trips over. We see the red dot try to reorient. It can't quite catch it. And then other people, there's a throng of 6 other people who fall over, tumble into each other. It's blah, 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 blah. Is there a little shock trying to regather? But as you come closer, Jessica, so you're running towards Misaki. I'm gonna say as you do that, Jessica, tell me about a supernatural creature that you got into a ill-advised relationship with.
All right, let's see. Trying to think.
Vampire, werewolf.
Trying to think of the Monster Arts playbooks. Let's think.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Okay, okay. There's this Jinn once. Encountered them in. Give me a random country. Peru.
Nice.
Perfect. They weren't totally evil.
Yeah. They were from a fairly neutral.
We had mutual goals at the time.
Absolutely. Are we thinking femme, mask, or?
Femme.
Right. So I think I have a nice, okay. Yeah. I think I have that. So, you see them they have this long green bluish dyed hair and then really coiled curls along the top, really dramatic, fucking 80s huge eye makeup, right? And so as Misaki stumbles onto the ground, you see them show up and they grab Misaki's arm and they look at you and they wink, put a finger to their lips, and they start moving into the opposite direction.
How do disguises actually work in the mechanics of this game?
Right. So the thing is, because this is your, I rolled on your entanglement.
Okay.
So what I got was your bad cover. Someone here will recognize you under a different, maybe even your real identity.
Okay.
So your cover is intact with everybody else, but
Okay.
with this person in particular, they were able to see through it. But they're pulling them away and they're moving in the opposite direction really quickly. You can tell that they're using their supernatural djinn abilities to move through the crowd like it's nothing.
Yeah, well, I'm going to pursue.
Yeah. So let's have our pursue roll.
Let's see.
Let me read it first. Make sure
Well,
I didn't.
also, I don't mark this. So, what counts as facing?
Oh, facing. Sorry.
Yeah, like because I've got the drive of vengeance. Mark this drive when you face a supernatural you've faced before. See mission entanglements.
Oh. Yeah. I guess it's just as long as you have
Okay.
physically, like, well, had to deal with them. Right? That's
All right
a good
then.
question.
So it's good to know. So maneuver, right? So I got 2 dice of that. How does this work? Enter a die count to create. Okay, just write it out. E6, right? And stress is if you want to get an extra die.
Yeah, if you want to make it 3.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure.
It's a 2 shot, maybe. I don't know. So I got a 5.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Technically, I'm in 4 of these games, so
Exactly. So no problem. So let's see. When you try to chase someone down, which we did, roll maneuver, on a 4 to 5, you've caught up to them, but they've led you to a place of the GM's choosing. They'll say where. So they move so quickly, you quickly leave behind Arena, Mia, and the rest. And they take you, you see, like, as you keep track of Masaki and our ex-girlfriend, who I need to give a name to. Let me
you go
just.
Farah.
Oh, Farah's nice. Okay. So as you track down Farah, you realize that they're taking Misaki into the underground, into the subway. And so you go past, there's like an underground mini mall here, and then they take them towards the train, which is going to completely go in the opposite direction of what the plan was, to take them to the post office.
What were we supposed to go? We were supposed to take them to a safe house, not the post office, right?
You're supposed to go to the post office just to get the latest information about where the safe house was.
Oh, this is so confusing.
Well, things rarely go according to plan. So, but you managed to catch up to them right at the train. Like it's opening the doors. They're about to get in.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not gonna leave them.
What do you do?
Like get in, like I said.
Well, I mean, like, they're close enough that you can like confront her if you want
Oh
to.
yeah,
You can
no,
say
like
something.
yeah, I get right up in their business. Farah, wonderful seeing you. And you've met someone I'm very interested in. I'm sorry, Sarah. Your reputation precedes you. You don't want to go with her.
And then Sarah looks at you and he's really confused. There's this aura of like innocence about them as they take a look at you. No, but Farrah's my friend. And as he says that, you can tell there's this telltale glint across his eyes.
Right, of course.
And Farrah just smiles and says, "This is nothing personal, darling. I just couldn't say no to this job."
Is it worth it though? I mean, let's think about all that we had and all we still could have. Because
like
we can do the oh yeah, totally.
You were gonna say we could do it.
We can do this the easy way, the hard way, or the fun way. In which you not only benefit, you get to you don't get stabbed.
And so just to be clear about where we are, you managed to stop them before they got into the train, right? And so this train's like
Yes.
leaving, right?
Yeah.
And so like you're saying this to her as the train.
Yeah, and like, and I do
moves.
like that. I reach up and stroke Farrah's cheek and lean in real close. Now, what would you rather do?
And we see Masaki's eyes go wide, like, what's happening? Why are they touching each other like this? Okay, so let's roll manipulate. When you try to seduce, manipulate, venom, bluff, fast talk, or lie to someone, tell them what you want them to do, give them a reason, and roll charm. I feel like that clearly established. You were promising.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Not only like we will, what was that? Match their pay, and ...
Ooh, Cassandra, you hear this? Like you're gonna have to make sure that you can pay off this person if this goes well. So, but let's see what it looks like first.
So yeah, I'll spend 2 stress. I don't. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a rule about maximum, so no problem.
Well, I got a 3, 1, and a 3, but
But you have your ability, right?
yeah, I don't know what it does though. I mean, it just says I ignore consequences, failure. But does that mean you succeed?
Yeah, twice per mission.
Okay.
You may ignore the consequences, failure. Oh yeah.
It should be rewritten to turn a failure
into a success.
into a hit. Because otherwise, like, I guess what is the so the miss on manipulate is, it does not say.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just change it to a 4 to 5. I'm just doing a GM on the spot kind of thing, right? Just to, like, we'll just move it up to the next level. They'll go along with you, but they need some concrete assurance, cooperation, or evidence. And so Farrah says, "Oh, Jessica, you've always been so good at taking care of me, but I need to know that the money can be wired as soon as possible." And as she says this, she leans in close towards the earpiece, like she's talking to Cassandra directly. So Cassandra, you're going to have to put together the resources to make sure you can wire over the money. So is this planting gear? Because one of the gears is money, actually.
Significant cash.
Yeah, which is what this is going to be. This is going to be significant cash. So.
Oh, it just so happens I've left Jessica a fair amount of money.
Yeah. Like it's going to be.
Case, you know,
we'll see how it goes.
In Shibuya, it's a fairly fancy Tokyo. Okay, cool.
So plaid gear, I think. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is with armory. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I've got 2. So I'm just gonna reroll these top ones. Yeah, it's a 6.
Wow. Oh my gosh. A 6. We get a 6 on the money. Anyway, consult your own marine, say what it is and where it's hidden on hand. Example, the agent's pocket, somewhere in the room.
I don't know how I've hidden it on Jessica. Apparently she's wearing a very nice dress.
Hey, I've got a garter.
Oh, guard is nice. Guard is good.
And I think that Cassandra's like, I can't believe you're gonna use that money to butter up your ex.
I mean, there's no response other than the sound of maybe kissing.
Perfection. And we hear the sound of the kissing and we just see Misaki being like really shocked. We're like, oh, what's happening with their sweet, innocent angel face. And we cut back to Farrah taking the money, politely counting it in front of you and saying, "It's a pleasure doing business with you as always, Jessica. Same time, same place next week."
Of course.
And by that point, the next train has come, and then Farrah just like steps back onto the train. But before she goes, she says, "Just so you know, darling, I wasn't the only piece on the board." And as the doors close, we cut back to Mia. How is it that you know when a witch is near you. There's a way that you can sense it before you see them.
I think like other witches have like a innate sense that she hasn't developed yet. So she has kind of a charm that is like looped on her. She has like a waist chain, kind of like the grungy 80s aesthetic. And then there's a charm on there that just kind of starts to like rattle and shake that she had enchanted. And that's her kind of like mundane way of faking it.
Yeah, perfect. And you hear that telltale tinkle even above all of the sound. By now things have calmed down a bit. Arena, you see people are picking themselves up, but you saw Jessica rush off following Misaki. But back to Mia, you feel them walking towards you. You can feel their power emanating through them. It feels like a servitor, someone who hasn't fully become a witch yet, but you recognize her voice. And she says, "Dear sister, father would be so disappointed in you." And this is obviously not your biological sister. This is someone who sees you as their equal. What's their name?
Her name is Cecily.
And so Cecily steps forward. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Mia just kind of like sneers at her and rolls her eyes. Yeah, that's all.
Perfect. So Cecily has like really blunt bangs, high pigtails. It's 89, like one side's dyed, right? And wearing like painfully leather outfit. Like you can hear the crinkling as she comes close. And she says, "Father told me to give you a message. Either you help us make sure that we get the angel before the demons do, or you stay out of his way and leave. He's running out of patience for your dalliance with Project Perseus."
Well, how about I make sure the demons don't get the angel and we just call that good enough, and we'll take good care of them at Project Perseus.
And she looks at you and she says, "I think you might have misheard me, my dear sister. Mia, you're not the one in control here. I am."
I think Mia tries to like do a more like simple spell as best she can to like just completely dry out the leather in her outfit and just like ruin it and make it like more of just like not hurt her, because like she still has some care for her, but just completely embarrass her and like get the upper hand in the social conversation.
Sure, I'm going to read that as seizing an opportunity.
Yeah. Would you say this is with supernatural?
Of course, because you're doing it in a
Okay.
supernatural way.
Perfect. So I will take these two. And then I'm a gun witch. So when I push myself with either violence or supernatural, I get 2 dice. So I will do that.
Yeah, so just mark the stress.
Okay, so that is a 6.
Nice. Yeah. So on a hit, you get what you want, and you add a +1d. I'm gonna count that towards basically future actions on forcing her to back down, right? Or dealing with her if it gets to violence. And so as that happens, you can see the constriction of the outfit, and then we see a ring of your power around her neck for a moment, right? This nimbus blue light, and she clutches towards her neck and she looks completely shocked, like unaware that you were capable of doing something like this. And as you ease back a little bit, she says, "Fine, I've changed my mind. you protect the Angelus, the heir, and Father and I will see it as a favor done to us.
We would be happy to do that favor. Give Father my regards when you run back to him.
Oh, don't worry. You'll see him before I will, my dear. And so with that, Irina, we cut back to you, I think, for this last shot. What do? You see Jessica has disappeared. Were you keeping up with her, or were you going to the post office?
Yeah, I think at this point, when Jessica took off, we're on comms with each other, right? So I know that Jessica sort of has a handle on things.
Handle with the hands.
Handle on
Yes.
things, right? Let's hope that she turned off her microphone for the sensitive parts and came back on again and was like, I got it covered, guys. Don't ask, So at this point, Irene has gotten in the car and is driving to the post office to pick up the information on the safe house. And yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think so. When we cut to you, you're looking super hot coming out of the car, of course, as the door opens and you step out, close the door behind you. When you get to the post office, though, you can see, because it's all glass. This is according to the picture I saw, so I'm not 100% sure this is what it looked like in the 80s. But anyway, so it's all glass. And you can see several floors, the glass has been completely shattered outwards. And you can see there's like a door, an automatic door that's supposed to open, and it keeps opening and closing on a body that's just unconscious. You're hoping unconscious, like across it. And you can see they have like a Japanese police uniform on. What do you do?
I'm going to enter the post office. I'm a spy. I don't have to respect crime scenes.
Absolutely. And so as you step over the body, you see
I stop at the body while I'm over it to, make sure that they're alive, see if they have an ID or whatever.
Sure. So as you turn the body over, checking for the pulse, that's when you see that their eyes are open, but they're completely black. And you can see there's just rivulets of black liquid that's just draining down their face, right? And when their mouths are open, and it's full of that same black liquid.
That's not good.
Yeah, you could ask Cassandra what's up, or
yeah, I'm gonna report this. This seems like something that headquarters would like to know about. So I'm gonna let Cassandra know about the about the black ooze coming out of the orifices of this poor man.
I think Cassandra has elbowed one of the analysts out and is on the computer themselves, being like, I programmed parts of this filing system. I'm sure I can find some info here. I guess we're gonna close out on this gather info roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's give this a whirl. Oh, beautiful! That's a standard 6.
Oh, so you get to ask a follow-up question, right? Yeah. So as you look up the information, oh wait, I want to double check. We're getting into body horror territory. Are we okay with this, or should I script change anything with the black goo? Okay, just double checking. We'll keep it at this level. And so as you, sorry, I'm still getting used to all the information. Okay, so as you look up what this could be, you realize that this is a mark that someone left behind, a servitor of, it has to be a demonic cult, right? So you're putting 2 and 2 together. It has to be the Red Dawn, but you just don't have enough information to be sure. There are other cults that could be at play here. What would you like to ask as your follow-up question?
Yeah. what can the Red Dawn do? Like, how powerful / lethal are they?
So you know that the Red Dawn is a relatively new cult compared to the rest. The others have been like established like generations ago. But the Red Dawn is especially aggressive. As you look up the information, they're aggressive in bringing up their numbers, and you realize that what you're looking at, what Arena is looking at, is a failed attempt to force someone to comply, to take over their mind, basically.
I think I just say, instead of relaying that info to Arena, well, I will at some point, but I think part of that, Cassandra will say, Jessica, you've got a package secure. Mia, Mia, please join Arena at the post office. I'd rather all three of you aren't so split up when the Red Dawn comes.
And Cassandra, as you say that over the comms, Irina, you look up, and from the shadows, you see these different people, some in police uniforms, some in casual wear, even see like a party goer here. They just let out this huge, like, pained moan as they come out from the shadows, arms extended, the same black goo coming from their eyes, all surrounding you, coming closer. And that's where we're going to end the session. On that note, we'll start with Irina kicking ass next time for sure. Okay, so with that, I'm sorry I lost track for the last few minutes. I thought we can just fit in a little bit. But for everybody who is watching or listening, thank you so much. That was our first session for Project Perseus, which is an open playtest right now. I forgot to mention, I include all the links down below. But yeah, so thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.